Hello everyone and welcome back to Tram Crazy. It's been a while, but that's because this video has taken me so long to get out. I've done a lot of maths, but I think we're finally there. Now in this video I'm going to analyse the Steam hardware survey from March 2022. Why March? Well, as I said, it's taken a while. So let's get started. First of all, 1 in 25 Windows Steam users are running Windows 7. As of March 2022. Support for Windows 7 ended on the 14th of January 2020, that's 2.5 years ago. And this leaves these users open to attacks, as security updates are no longer provided. So, looking at the data for the Windows version that Windows Steam users are using, we can see that most Steam users, around 8 in 10, are running Windows 10 64-bit, but Windows 11 has started to penetrate the market, with nearly 1 in 5 Windows Steam users running Windows 11. The worrying statistic is the Windows 7 one, but as we can see, Windows 8.1 was never very popular and it holds a tiny market share. And despite the popularity of Ryzen, Intel remains the most popular processor brand on Windows, holding more than double AMD's market share. And ARM-based Windows devices are creeping into the survey, but only 1 in 5,000 Windows Steam users are running their games on them. So, 69% of Windows Steam users are running Intel CPUs, 30% are running AMD, and just 0.02% are running on ARM devices. On average, AMD CPU users are running 1 GHz faster CPUs than their Intel counterparts. So we can see that the most popular Intel clock speed range is 2.3 to 2.69 GHz, with some users sadly running clock speeds below 1.4 GHz. But AMD CPUs, by contrast, the most popular speed range is 3.3 to 3.69 GHz, with hardly any running below 1.4 GHz, but a significant amount running at 3.7 GHz or above. Almost 2 in 5 macOS Steam users are running on the Apple M1 family of CPUs. This shows just how popular M1 has become in recent years. So 62% of macOS users are running on Intel CPUs and 37% are running on Apple CPUs. Bearing in mind that M1 was released at the end of 2020, this has got into the market very quickly and shows the popularity of the CPUs. On average, macOS users are running their Intel CPUs at the same speeds as Windows users. So we can see that the most popular speed range for Intel CPUs on macOS is 2.3 to 2.69 GHz, but hardly any Intel CPUs on macOS are running above 3.7 GHz, and a significant proportion are running below 1.4 GHz. Linux users are also more likely to be running AMD CPUs than Windows users. 58% of Linux users are running Intel CPUs and 41% are running AMD CPUs. It seems that no Linux users are running ARM CPUs. However, Steam may not survey this accurately. And Linux users run their CPUs at higher clock speeds than Windows and macOS users. Most Linux users are running their CPUs above 3.7 GHz, whereas not many are running them in the lower speed ranges. This is in stark contrast to Windows and macOS. And AMD CPUs, the difference is similar, with lots running above 3.7 GHz. Linux users also typically run the fewest CPU cores, and only Linux Steam users run 64-core CPUs. So the most popular number of cores on Windows is now 6 cores, just ahead of the quad-core processors we used to see. This is probably popularised by the Ryzen 5 lineup. And the most popular number of CPU cores on macOS is now 8 cores, which is probably influenced by M1. And the most popular number of CPU cores on Linux is 4 cores, meaning that most Linux users are running less cores than Windows users. And most macOS Steam users play on a MacBook Pro. The MacBook Pro is by far the most popular Steam device for Mac users, followed by the MacBook Air, the iMac, the Mac Mini, the MacBook, and the Mac Pro. The Oculus Quest 2 is by far the most popular VR headset for Steam gaming. It takes up 47.35% of Steam gamers, followed by the Valve Index and the Oculus Rift S, along with the HTC Vive. Other headsets do take up a proportion of the market, but nowhere near as much. Steam is still primarily a Windows gaming platform. Just over 1 in 50 Steam users play on macOS, and only 1 in 100 Steam users play on Linux. So Windows takes up 96.57% of the market, macOS at 2.43%, and Linux at 1%. Most Steam users have 16 GB of RAM. We can see that 51.48% of Steam users have 16 GB, followed by 8 GB with 23.44% and 32 GB with 11.97%. Very few users have more than 32 GB. The most popular amount of VRAM for graphics cards is now 8 GB. 24.37% of Steam users have 8 GB of VRAM, followed closely by 6 GB with 22.87%. The huge VRAM amounts of the 3090 with 24 GB have started to come into the market, but at below 1% of market share. 1080p is still the most popular resolution for Steam gaming. Just over 1 in 10 Steam users are gaming at 1440p. And just over 1 in 50 Steam users are gaming in 4K. So despite the desirability of higher resolutions, 1080p remains the standard for most people. 67% of Steam users run 1080p displays. Most Steam users have over 1 TB of total storage in their PC, with 52.68% of users having above 1 TB, followed by 250 to 499 GB at 20.27%. We all have to feel sorry for the Steam users who only have 10 to 99 GB of storage in their PCs. Within the top 10 most popular GPUs, the RTX 3070 is the most powerful of the top 10. And the GTX 1050 is the least powerful. No AMD GPUs have made their way into the top 10 desktop GPUs for Steam users. Here, I have worked out what percentage of the 3090 Ti's graphics score in time spy is given by each of the GPUs in the top 10 on the Steam hardware survey. We can see that the RTX 3070 gives around 63% of the 3090 Ti score when paired with the 12900K, followed closely by the RTX 3060 with 42% of the score and the RTX 2060 with 34% of the score. The most popular GPU on Steam, the 1060, only offers 19.78% of the 3090 Ti score, followed by the 1650 with 17.74%, the RTX 2060 with 34.94%, 1050 Ti with only 11.83%, the 1050 with 8.6%, the 1660 Ti with 27.3%, and the RTX 3060 with 42%, the GTX 1660 Super with 29%, and the GTX 1070 with 30%. Thank you for watching my detailed analysis of the Steam Hardware Survey March 2022. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a comment to tell me what you thought. I'll see you in the next video.